الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back is so much more than just skin and bone? Almost everyone has had that strange and quiet feeling that they are more than just a collection of cells and chemistry. We look in the mirror and see a physical body, but we feel like a person who exists somewhere deep inside that shell, looking out at the world. In late 2025, the conversation about this internal feeling has reached a massive turning point in the world of science. As our tools for mapping the brain become more powerful, we are hitting a massive wall because we can see the electricity firing between neurons, but we cannot find the actual person who is making the decisions. In the Islamic tradition, this mystery is centered on the concept of the ruh, which is a divine secret that gives us our true identity and connects us to something eternal. What is truly fascinating is how the latest scientific frustrations are actually starting to support what was revealed over 1400 years ago about the limits of human knowledge. In this video, we are going to look at some clear ways the Islamic view of the soul explains the things science is currently struggling to understand. We will explore why your sense of self is not just a chemical reaction and why your soul is the most real thing you will ever own. This is not a call to ignore the amazing things we are learning about biology, but we want to show you how to respect the science while recognizing that the material world has its limits. Stay with us as we find the bridge between the physical brain and the eternal spirit. The first thing we have to understand is that the ruh is not a physical part of the body that can be measured or seen under a microscope. The Qur'an tells us very clearly that the soul is from the command of the Lord, and it reminds us that humans have only been given a tiny amount of knowledge regarding its true nature. This means that while your heart and your lungs grow from your DNA, the soul is a divine breath that is placed into the body to bring it to life and give it a purpose. Because it comes from a higher source, it does not follow the same laws as gravity or chemistry, which is why your inner world feels so vast and unlimited even when your body is stuck in one place. This explains why you can feel things that have no physical shape, like a sudden sense of hope or the overwhelming beauty of a sunset that brings tears to your eyes. Science is currently trying to find where life exactly starts in a cell, but they are finding that a cell can have all the right biological parts and still not be alive. The ruh is the spark that makes the machine run, and without it, the body is just a collection of elements that eventually return to the earth. Understanding this helps us realize that our true value does not come from our physical appearance or our health, but from this pure and divine light that lives within us. There is a major debate in science today called the fundamental problem of consciousness, and it remains one of the biggest challenges for modern biology. Scientists can see exactly which part of your brain lights up when you feel happy or sad, but they cannot explain the actual feeling of happiness itself. They can measure the electrical signal of a sound wave entering your ear, but they cannot explain why a certain song makes you feel a specific and powerful memory from your childhood. This gap between the physical signal in the brain and the inner feeling in your heart is exactly where the soul lives and operates. Material science tries to say that everything is just matter, but matter by itself does not have feelings or awareness. A rock is made of matter, but it does not know it exists, and it does not feel the sun on its surface. You are made of matter, but you have an inner world that is private and deep and full of complex emotions. This is the ruh experiencing the physical world through the biological body, and it proves that there is a dimension of you that a camera or a scan will never be able to capture. Your consciousness is not a byproduct of your brain, but it is the light of the soul that is currently shining through your physical form. A great way to think about the relationship between your brain and your soul is to look at how a radio works. If you were to destroy a radio, the music would stop playing, but that does not mean the music was actually inside the radio. The music is a signal coming from a distant station, and the radio is just the tool that catches that signal and plays it for everyone to hear. The brain works in a very similar way because it acts as a filter or a receiver for the soul. When the brain is healthy and functioning well, the soul can express itself clearly through the body, and we see a vibrant and coherent personality. When the brain is injured or begins to age, a person can appear different or distant, not because the soul has changed, but because the receiver through which it functions has been damaged. In many fascinating medical cases, people with very little brain function have reported having full and clear thoughts during near-death experiences. This suggests that the soul remains perfect and whole, even when the physical body is struggling or failing. It gives us great comfort to know that our essence is protected and is not limited by our physical health or our biological age. We often feel like there are two different versions of ourselves living inside our minds, and this can be very confusing. Islam explains this by making a clear distinction between the ruh, which is the spirit, and the nafs, which is the ego or the lower self. The ruh is the part of you that is always pure and always wants to connect with the divine, and it acts like a compass that always points toward what is true and good. The nafs is your individual personality and your desires, and it is the part of you that gets distracted by the comforts and the temptations of the world. This is why we often feel a constant tug of war inside our hearts, where the soul wants peace and prayer, while the ego wants fame or instant gratification. The real goal of our life is to train the ego so that it stops fighting and starts following the light of the soul. When we understand this difference, we can stop being so hard on ourselves for having internal struggles. It is a natural part of being human to have a spirit that is pulling us up toward the heavens and an ego that is pulling us down toward the earth. The struggle itself is a sign that your soul is alive and is trying to guide you back to your true home. Finally, we need to talk about how to actually take care of this unseen part of ourselves in a world that is obsessed with the physical. We spend so much time at the gym or at the doctor taking care of the body, but the soul needs its own kind of food and its own kind of hygiene to stay healthy. Because the ruh comes from a divine command, it can only be nourished by connecting with that source through meaningful actions. This is why things like sincere prayer, quiet reflection, and helping others feel so good deep down in your chest. It is not just a psychological trick, but it is literally feeding the soul the spiritual energy it needs to thrive in a material world. The modern world is very loud, and it tries to keep us focused on our physical shells and our digital reflections all the time. But if we ignore the spirit, we will feel a deep emptiness, no matter how healthy or wealthy our bodies become. The balanced path is to respect the science of the body and give it what it needs while also giving the soul the silence and the connection it needs to breathe. The real secret to a happy life is realizing that you are a visitor in this body, and your true home is in the spiritual world that waits beyond it. The mystery of the soul is the greatest reminder that our lives have a profound meaning that cannot be measured by money or status. While the world focuses on what can be sold and what can be seen, your soul is a precious gift that is beyond any price. May we all find the time to listen to that quiet and steady light within us. If this look at the soul in science has helped you see yourself in a new way, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments about a time you felt your soul was truly separate from your body. We are currently running our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam series on this channel, which has episodes covering the details of his blessed life part by part. You can find the link to the full series right here on your screen, so be sure to watch it next and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next video. Join us next time as we continue to explore the wonders of the unseen world. May your heart be at peace and your spirit be full of light. Until next time, peace be upon you.